No question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. And there is no question that once he acquires it, history shifts immediately. The dangers posed by a nuclear-armed Saddam were understood by my country 2 decades ago, well before September 11th. In 1981, the late Prime Minister of Israel, Menachem Begin, dispatched the Israeli Air Force on a pre-dawn raid that destroyed the Iraqi nuclear reactor at Osirak. This probably took place months away from Saddam's ability to assemble the critical mass of plutonium for the first atomic bomb, or more than one. And today, the United States must destroy the same regime because a nuclear-armed Saddam will place the security of our entire world at risk. And make no mistake about it, if and once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons. 2 decades ago, it was possible to thwart Saddam's nuclear ambitions by bombing a single installation. But today, nothing less than dismantling his regime will do, because Saddam's nuclear program has fundamentally changed in those 2 decades. He no longer needs one large reactor to produce the deadly material necessary for atomic bombs. He can produce it in centrifuges the size of washing machines that can be hidden throughout the country.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast, man. Let's get into it today, man. We got a few different things concerning Chicago's mayor signing an executive order to prevent ICE from coming in Chicago and doing what they do. Also, Speaker Mike Johnson talks about this whole shutdown. And so we're not going watch this whole clip on the Chicago mayor thing, because I want to get into 2 videos that I have. One of Bibi Netanyahu and pretty much all the times that he has, pretty much come to America and claimed that Iran and, the Middle East has these wars of weapons of mass destruction, and, pretty much has been putting America at the forefront of wars for literally a few decades now. So we're going to get into that. And also Candace Owens, we're going to watch a little clip through LV Nation. Shout out to him. I seen a little bit of the episode of Candace Owens breaking down a few things. If you want to check that out, go to her page. But she has this interesting text thread with Charlie Kirk, and she said about, I think, 9 other people. So it was like 10 people altogether in the text thread. But come to find out, Tucker Carlson had made some claims that was actually true. So, bro, this stuff is getting deep out here, man. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into this Chicago mayor. But before we start, man, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I truly do appreciate it. Help your boy get monetized, man. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. I'm on the road to 500. It's a small milestone, but yet it's still a milestone. So help your boy get monetized and hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. Comment down below. Let's get into it today, man. Also, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope video. Let's get into it.
Code violations. The residents were dealing with deplorable conditions already, and this was before ICE trampled on them. But when they came in the middle of the night, they terrorized the families that were living there. were children who were without clothing. They were zip-tied, taken outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. A senior resident, an American citizen, with no warrants, was taken outside and handcuffed for 3 hours. Doors were blown off their hinges, walls were broken through. Immigration agents coming from Black Hawk helicopters to set up snipers on nearby buildings. This is America. One resident described the situation plainly, and I quote, "They had immigrants in one van and black people in another van." This raid wasn't about public safety. It was about and it's certainly not about immigration. This was about a show of authoritarianism, a forceful display of tyranny. They sent a clear message to all Chicagoans. They said, "We do not respect your rights. We can do anything we want and we will film it and put it on social media." The very next day, ICE agents chased people outside of a homeless shelter on the south side and then caused a car accident on the west side. Immigration agents put a young black man in a chokehold on the side of the street in East Garfield Park. Witnesses, one of which you will hear from this morning, bravely filmed the interaction, eventually leading to this person's release. On Friday, agents dispersed tear gas in the middle of a busy city street. Chicagoans were hit with chemical agents while walking their children home from school. A couple ran from tear gas with a 2-year-old child in their care. Agents went into the Humboldt Park Health Center and detained a sitting elected official, Alder Jessie Fuentes of the 26th Ward, because she simply requested to see a warrant. On Saturday, they escalated even further by shooting a U.S. citizen. They claimed it was defensive fire, but frankly, we cannot trust anything that comes out of the administration. It was only a few short weeks ago that they claimed officers were severely injured in the killing of Mr. Villegas Gonzalez in Franklin Park. A Sun-Times investigation found that the agent said on a body camera footage that it was, in fact, nothing major. We have a rogue, reckless group of heavily armed mass individuals roaming throughout our city that are not accountable to the people of Chicago. Their actions put all Chicagoans at risk. When protesters confronted federal immigration agents in Brighton Park on Saturday, they were met with pepper balls and more repression. CPD responded to attempt to de-escalate the situation, and ICE tear gassed our police officers. Let me be clear. Tear gassing the women and men who serve as Chicago Police Department officers is not how we make our city safer. I'm calling for a full investigation into this incident and into all of the brutality that we have seen over the past week. They are taking police resources that should be in our neighborhoods, serving Chicagoans, and diverting them to deal with the chaos that they are causing. We need ICE out of our city so that we can continue to focus on the strategies that have been working to drive violent crime down. These actions tell us a simple truth. If we allow this administration to take away due process for anyone, we will allow them to take away due process for everyone. They told us that this was about the worst of the worst. In reality, they are going after anyone who objects to families being ripped apart and community members being disappeared. ICE law.
Like, you see how, like, yo, the part that frustrates me with these people is like how they try to form shit as if, like, my whole thing is, if you just cooperate, right? This is like kind of like what happened with George Floyd. That whole event could have been avoided, right? Not saying what Derek Chauvin did was okay. I'm just saying that it all could have been avoided if they cooperated. My thing is, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Chicago, let's be honest, bro. Come on, bro. People, black bodies dropping every day, you know, and in plenty of, you know, hoods around America. And what's wrong with the president wanting to clean up crime and get illegal immigrants out of the country. Like all of this chaos that they're causing could be avoided simply if they say, you know what, we shouldn't have illegal immigrants here. They shouldn't be soaking up all the resources. It's plenty of poor people here in America who need the resources. We do need to put our resources here in America and not abroad, foreign countries, and bullshit. And like bullshit programs. Like, bro, they spend so much money on garbage. It's ridiculous. And then people like this clown right here gets up here and tries to frame shit. And this is the part that bothers me about these people is that they get on these news stations and they just lie to the people. Like I'm trying to actually find video that he's talking about because he said that they filmed it and all of this shit. Like, so I'm trying to figure out where's the video at of them locking up these black people and illegal immigrants and they're, taking people from their families. Listen, bro, you broke the law when you came to the country. You knew the consequences. All of these illegal immigrants knew the consequences if Trump got elected. They knew it because Trump said it for literally a whole year, what he was going to do. So it wasn't like, it's not a news flash, not breaking news, bro. They knew that Trump was going to go after these people. And this just goes to show you, bro, who are these people really for, bro? Who are they really for, bro? Just really think about it. They're really going really hard for illegal immigrants. But yet the black community is trash. It's fucked up in plenty of states. But you don't see them, they don't put not even 1% of the effort that they're putting into fighting ICE and fighting for illegal immigrants as they do for Americans, let alone black Americans at that. It's crazy.
And people die.
Straight
We cannot
clown
allow
shit.
this to continue. We must take action more drastic than what we have taken before because what we are seeing is a more radical attempt to undermine our democracy. And today we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids. Our school parking lots are not for ICE to load their weapons. They are for Chicagoans who drop their kids off to learn. Our libraries are not for ICE to prepare for a raid. They're for Chicagoans to read and relax. Our parks are not for ICE to set up checkpoints. They are for Chicagoans to play and enjoy. Private establishments can partner with us to make it clear that private property is private property, and ICE cannot enter establishments without a valid warrant. Private entities may voluntarily choose to display signage to designate their property as part of a citywide network of community spaces that stand together in affirming the safety, dignity, and belonging of all of our residents. By extending this protection beyond city-owned land, the order builds a broad civic shield that limits the reach of harmful enforcement practices. It strengthens neighborhood solidarity, and it reaffirms Chicago's role as a welcoming city. The fact is, we cannot allow them to rampage throughout our city with no checks or balances. Nobody is above the law. If we break the law, you should be held accountable. If Congress will not check this administration, then Chicago will. I know there are many Chicagoans who are disturbed by the images and the videos that they are seeing on the news and social media. There are many who are scared and shocked by what they are seeing. The truth is that we are at a tipping point. This administration is trying to divide us and pit people groups against one another. They want to divide and
Yeah,
conquer.
remember I said before, bro. Projection is real, bro. This is what they do best. They project. They project what they're trying to do, which is divide people, and they're good at it, bro. I give it to them, bro. They're great at dividing America, bro. And that's just all this boils down to. They want to create chaos and everything, so when elections come around, they can, Trump was locking up American citizens and say a bunch of lies that make people feel as though like, you shouldn't vote for Republicans because, they're gonna they're gonna lock it, they're gonna, separate families and all of this shit. I just didn't see any of this when Obama was doing it. I just didn't see it.
And
Like,
as I said,
where was all this?
In the South Shore, and this has been said very clearly, black people in one van and immigrants in another.
Where's that at? Like, this is my thing. If that was true, you think if that was true, that they wouldn't have that footage, they wouldn't have this, some type of, because in order for you to say this, right, on national television, there has to be some type of evidence to prove that. Like, there has to be something. Where's that evidence at? Why ain't you posting it? Show the receipts.
In the face of this unprecedented threat, this moment calls for unity. Black, brown, white, Asian, young, old, north side, west side, south side, we must all pull aside our differences and defend one another. Because if we allow this to continue to be unchecked, by the time we realize what's happening, it'll be too late. And this executive order is a step towards accountability and is calling for the basic rule of law. In the coming days and weeks, we may be pushed, if not forced, to take even more dramatic action if this administration continues to escalate and provoke our people. In closing, last night I spoke with the governor, and he informed me that the Trump administration is deploying Texas National Guard to our city. We will speak to our response later today. We'll do that with the governor as well as the attorney general. For now, let me just say that we are unequivocally going to continue to reject the military occupation of our city.
Man, I don't even want to listen to this clown no more, bro. He's a straight clown, bro. He's a straight clown. Everything is, let's go against Trump. That's no matter what, go against Trump. That's it. That's all it is, bro. These people don't have no real solutions. Like, my thing is, at the bare minimum, you could say, at least Trump is trying to clean up crime. He's trying to stop black bodies from dropping. You know what I mean? He's trying to get illegal immigrants who are soaking up resources here in America out of the country. And the thing is, he's even paying them to do it. He's literally paying people to leave. He's giving them $1,000, a plane ticket, a bus ticket, and to wherever you got to go. And telling you if you volunteer, you can still have a chance to come through the front door like everybody else. That sounds very reasonable to me. I don't see the authoritarian in that. I don't see dictatorship in that. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, is it going to be a pretty scene if it's just like, if you got a warrant and you have to make them to come out and use resources to come get you? Like, what you think they going, play with you? No, they going to come get you. These people are crazy, bro. And this is another example. The government being shut down for all of these days simply because they want to get health care for illegal immigrants. It's just crazy, bro. Literally, they have passed this same bill, and Mike Johnson is going to explain this. They literally just passed this same bill when they passed the One Big Beautiful Bill. They literally just passed the same thing. Ain't nothing different in it. And they're not agreeing to it now. That's how you know it's political, bro. It's literally just political. This shit is ridiculous. Straight clown shit. Hold on. Where the hell's the volume at? The hell? Oh, hold on, my bad.
what I would summarize as 6 simple truths about the shutdown. I started with the background, a review of how we got to where we are, and then talked with you about the Democrats' counter-proposal and some of the absurd things that they've been demanding to reopen the government. And then I gave you an update on the current status. We did some questions. Well, sadly, that status has not changed. As you know, last night, the Senate Democrats, the same group, voted again to keep the government closed. So that was their 5th vote to shut the government down on the American people. It is regrettable and sad, and real pain is being felt by real people because of these political shenanigans. So today, instead of the 6 simple truths, I'm going to give you 5 key facts, okay? And then we'll do some questions. I'll be more brief today. I do think it is incumbent upon us to mark the tragic anniversary of October 7. And I'll just say just a very brief word about that. There's a lot that could be said. But there are protests right now around the country and around the world against Israel. And it makes no sense. We have
That's
to remember
because people
what
not fucking with Israel, Johnson.
October 7th
They're not fucking with
marks. It was a massacre.
I'm going to show you why they're not fucking
1,200
with them.
people that were murdered, many of them tortured and raped. I mean, just the most heinous crimes. Bloodthirsty Hamas terrorists went into villages of Jewish people in Israel and murdered babies and put them in ovens. It's unspeakable, and I won't go into the gross detail of what happened, but it was just terribly, terribly tragic. And then, of course, they kidnapped 250 people. It was the darkest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. And these are objective facts, and right now there are people protesting against Israel for fighting a war to defend their people and their homeland. And I would just say this very brief. I was on a radio interview this morning at WABC in New York. One of my friends there is Sid Rosenberg, and he is the host of that program, and he is himself Jewish. And we were talking about this, and we were talking about the good versus evil thing, and he said a lot of Jewish people today are dejected because they see these protests around the globe and against the wrong side. And I just said to Sid, and I'll read it to you, I brought my Bible in here this morning. Let me just I said, Sid, I'm always comforted by this passage in the Psalms, the Old Testament, the Christian Old Testament, but this is the Psalm of the Jewish people, the Psalm of David, Psalm 37. And it says, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. I'll read it to you. Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, the justice of your cause like the noonday sun. It says, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when men succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. I told my friend Sid on the radio, and he was comforted by it, and I think others will be as well. We're all comforted by this. I know that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is fully in control. We'll let that rest there. Let me talk about the shutdown
let that
here real
rest,
quick.
Mike.
I promised you just 5
'Cause
fast
you're
facts,
bugging.
5 key facts, okay? I'm going to start with Leader Schumer's record because he is leading the opposition, and he is the one telling the Democrats to keep the government shut down. Chuck Schumer has been in Congress for 44 years.
Damn.
He was first elected to the House in 1981. Just for reference, I was 9 years old. I was in the 3rd grade when Chuck Schumer came here to Congress. Throughout his entire career, he has been very, very consistent about the necessity of keeping the government open until just now. In fact, I want to read to you an excerpt from 7 months ago, his floor speech on March 13th, 2025. This is Senator Chuck Schumer in March of this year. Quote, on the Senate floor, while the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country to minimize the harms of the American people. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down, unquote. Now, what was Chuck Schumer talking about? The exact same bill that is on the floor today. That's what he himself said. And he did vote to keep the government open. And then, during an interview with Jake Tapper on CNN,
That's how you know it's fake.
On March 14th of this year, he said, quote, I'm proud I did it. I know I did the right thing, unquote. That is Chuck Schumer himself. Today's the exact same scenario. It is the exact same vote. It is the exact same spending levels. And he has no reason whatsoever to do anything different.
Just think about that. Literally nothing's different. It's not like they put some shit in there where it's like, you know, you can understand the frustration. It's literally the same bill that Chuck Schumer agreed to pass not too long ago. Bro, these people, bro, they at some point, bro, we got to get back to normalcy, bro. At some point, bro. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, how long can you just go, like, god damn, like, they want to steal our money that bad, bro. That's what it all boiled down to, bro. They mad. Trump took he took the bag from them. He said, nah, y'all can't have the bag no more. He said, what? He's more boring than the dollar store Obama. Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, they all boring, bro. They all boring. But I just wanted to play it because, you know, it's just he's explaining that, bro, it's nothing changed. Nothing changed, bro. They're literally just not opening it just because. It's how much they care about American people, bro. They're mad that Trump pretty much took the bag from them, bro. They can't take our money no more. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. They mad. The funding isn't there, people.
Except for the politics. So that's fact number two. Fact number one,
I ain't gonna play this whole video.
Fact number two is his calculation today. It is purely about politics. He is recognizing the reality of the political winds changing in the state of New York. As I mentioned yesterday, they are likely to elect a Marxist to be the mayor of New York City, and Chuck Schumer is terrified by that. He's been in Congress a long, long time, and he is not the flavor of the day. He's not far enough left for the Marxist, and he knows he's going to get a challenge from his left flank. So he has to show a fight against President Trump, no matter how ridiculous it is, no matter how distracting it may be to the actual issues of the day. He's got to do that. Democrats have been in the political wilderness since last year's election. I got a couple of numbers for you here. Just over a week ago, Quinnipiac released the latest poll. The lowest favorability
Tap that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Appreciate you.
Recorded. They're at about 30%. 30% favorability. Democrats have hit historic lows in poll after poll since the beginning of this year. Wall Street Journal poll, CNBC poll, the Pew survey, et cetera, et cetera. You've all seen it. Many of you reported on it, or have reported on it, and that is a fact that is inescapable. Third fast fact this morning, the Democrats' record on the CRs. You know about Chuck Schumer's record, but they've all done it. Democrats and Republicans have worked together to pass 13 CRs to keep the government open under the Biden administration in the previous four-year term. Democrats supported every CR close to unanimously in the House and the Senate. In fact, their average is 99%. 99% of the Democrats who are voting no right now voted yes 13 times on the almost exact same, word for word, very simple CRs to keep the government open. But they won't do it now.
That's pretty much the gist of it, man. You know, it's the same bill. They don't want to pass it. Hey, it ain't affecting me, but it's a lot of people that it's affecting. But at the end of the day, man, like, shit gotta come on, bro. Like, this shit getting out of hand. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. This shit getting goofy out here, bro. What's good with you? Chilling, man. I want to get into this. I ran across this video of all of the times. Like, so what I got out of this video was pretty much that this dude, Bibi Netanyahu, this motherfucker's a warmonger for real. Like, he loved this shit. Like, he loves seeing people die. Especially, Middle Eastern people. But let's get into this video. And then we're going to get into
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
Israel's extreme right-wing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has a habit of repeatedly claiming without any evidence that his enemies supposedly have weapons of mass destruction. But a look at some of Netanyahu's public speaking over the past 30 years shows that he has a long history of crying wolf. In a dramatic speech on April 30th, Netanyahu used stage props and a cartoonish PowerPoint presentation to falsely claim that Iran had a secret nuclear weapons program that it had been concealing.
Tonight, we are going to reveal new and conclusive proof of the secret nuclear weapons program that Iran has been hiding for years from the international community in its secret atomic archive. We're going to show you Iran's secret nuclear files.
Netanyahu's speech had a clear political purpose: to sabotage the Iran nuclear deal agreed to by the international community with false and misleading allegations.
Well, tonight I'm here to tell you one thing. Iran lied. Big time. After signing the nuclear deal in 2015, Iran intensified its efforts to hide its secret nuclear files.
Numerous nuclear experts, including Robert Kelly, the former inspector for the International Atomic Energy Agency, said Netanyahu's claims were completely bogus.
I thought many of the things that he presented were very childish. I would think that a country like Israel that has its own nuclear weapons and has scientists who must be pretty competent.
Bro, but that's what's crazy too, bro. They was part of the they had this I talked about it before, but they had it was like a deal they all had where basically America could come into Iran and make sure that they didn't have no nuclear powers and so forth, right? And basically he helped sabotage that deal. And the crazy part is that they have nuclear weapons, but nobody knows like what they have because we can't go to Israel and find out what they have, and they don't want to be part of the deal. Like, yo, bro, these people are. I wouldn't say they straight.
Would be able to look at the information we were shown
a crooked motherfucker, bro.
And say right away, well, this is garbage. He presented very early in the presentation a drawing.
Look at the ball. Look at the bomb. This is the bomb right here.
Which was supposed to be an illustration of a nuclear device. And you look at that drawing, it's a cartoon. It's a joke. You look at this and you see it's completely amateurish, completely childish, and trying to make something very important out of something that's not important at all.
The Israeli Prime Minister made a similarly cartoonish speech at the United Nations General Assembly in 2012. The performance was another thinly disguised call for war, in which Netanyahu infamously drew a red line and claimed Iran was mere months from procuring a nuclear warhead.
By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks.
Look, he made this. This is like high school shit. Like this. Yo, every time this dude goes to any UN meeting, he come here to America, have a meeting with any president since this dude's been around. He is always trying to convince motherfuckers to go bomb somewhere in the Middle East, bro. This dude is dangerous,
before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. A red line should be drawn right here.
I think he a little slow. I'm gonna be honest.
Before Iran completes the second stage of nuclear enrichment necessary to make a bomb.
Yet this dishonesty is far from new. For decades, Netanyahu has been falsely accusing Israel's enemies of secretly harboring nuclear weapons. As far back as 1990, when Netanyahu served as Israel's deputy foreign minister, he claimed Iraq had a nuclear program that was, quote, fast accelerating. In an interview on NBC News Today show in December 1990, Netanyahu warned of what he called Saddam Hussein's, quote, weapons of destruction.
The question is really, how do we ensure that these weapons of destruction, these missiles, these chemical weapons, the nuclear program that is fast accelerating in Iraq, that these do not pose a threat in the aftermath of the crisis, assuming he gets out of Kuwait. This is an issue for the entire international community.
Netanyahu's weapons of mass destruction lies were even more extreme a decade later. In the lead up to the war in Iraq, Benjamin Netanyahu testified before the U.S. Congress and claimed there was no...
It seemed like everybody be looking at this dude like, man, here we go again. Here he come. He about to tell us some bullshit. But the craziest part is they still go with the shit. They still be like going with it. Like that's the craziest part, bro. Like it's like America is slaves to Israel.
Question
Shit is
whatsoever
crazy.
about Saddam Hussein's supposed weapons of mass destruction.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. And there is no question that once he acquires it, history shifts immediately. There is no question that he had not given up on his nuclear program, not whatsoever. There is also no question that he was not satisfied with the arsenal of chemical and biological weapons that he had and was trying to perfect them constantly. Saddam is hell-bent on achieving atomic bombs, atomic capabilities as soon as he can.
In this September 2002 congressional hearing, Netanyahu openly called for war on Iraq and insisted that a U.S. military invasion would be hugely beneficial for the entire Middle East.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people, and many others will say, the time of such regimes, of such despots, is gone. There is a new age, something new is happening.
In reality, the catastrophic...
Look at George Bush, retarded ass. Look at him. Hey, yo, these motherfuckers is straight puppets, bruh. This shit is crazy. In that same interview, I seen a clip where one of the senators, or, you know, one of them was asking him basically, like, what proof do you have? And he didn't have none. He didn't really have nothing. He just was saying the same thing. Like, we're for sure they have weapons of mass destruction. Like, yo,
in
bro,
the
this
legal
dude is crazy.
U.S.-led war and occupation in Iraq set the region
George Bush.
ablaze, destabilizing numerous countries, leading to the deaths of more than 1 million people, fueling extremist Salafi jihadist groups like Al-Qaeda, and eventually giving birth to ISIS. But Netanyahu was an absolutist. He declared that there was no other option but to dismantle the government in Baghdad.
2 decades ago, it was possible to thwart Saddam's nuclear ambitions by bombing a single installation. But today, nothing less than dismantling his regime will do. Because Saddam's nuclear program has fundamentally changed in those 2 decades. He no longer needs one large reactor to produce the deadly material necessary.
Yo, just think about the mental capacity that you have to know that you're getting in front of, like, you in America is, if not the most powerful military in the world. And this is the reason why they keep coming here for, you know, our resources. But just knowing that I'm lying, just think about that. Just think, if you put yourself in his shoe, like, he knows he's lying. He knows that what he's saying isn't true, but his goal is to literally, you know, get rid of the Middle East, pretty much. Like, he want total control over it. So this dude is willing to kill literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people for the sake of his goal. It's crazy. And just think about it. He's lying. That's the craziest part about it, is like, he's just blatantly lying. And like, this has been proven. This is just facts. And this is the thing, like, people say, like, talk about like the things that Hamas or, you know, Muslims are doing, but is it because they just want to hurt Jews or, you know, get rid of them, or is it out of retaliation for literally decades of people like this guy right here causing, and think about it, they literally causing these countries to hate America and wish death to America. So, like, I don't know, bro. It's like,
For atomic bombs. He can produce it in centrifuges.
This dude looking
the size
like,
of washing
man, this
machines
motherfucker lying.
that can be hidden throughout the country. And I want to remind you that
Lying motherfucker.
Iraq is a very big country.
Yet Netanyahu's lies
Only 1
didn't
million,
stop
we
there.
could do better.
He also said the same of Iran and Libya.
The two nations that are vying, competing with
That's a
each
lot of
other,
people,
who will
bro.
be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. Now the question is, what's your next step? Knowing that three of these nations are developing nuclear weapons. This is not a hypothesis. It is fact. Iraq, Iran, and Libya are racing to develop nuclear weapons.
And it was not just in Iraq where Netanyahu forcefully called for regime change. He also proposed toppling the government in Iran.
Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how to achieve it. The application of power is the most important thing in winning the war on terrorism. The more victories you amass, the easier the next victory becomes. The first victory in Afghanistan makes the second victory in Iraq that much easier. The second victory in Iraq will make the third victory that much easier too.
Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that the United States did not need...
This dude is the definition of a psychopath, bro. This dude is the definition. Like psychopath, if it had an image next to it, it would be Bibi Netanyahu.
Approval from the international community to wage war on Iraq.
Bro.
And equally immaterial in my mind is the argument that America cannot oust Saddam without prior approval of the international community. Today, the United States must destroy the same regime because a nuclear-armed Saddam will place the security of our entire world at risk. And make no mistake about it, if and once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons. And once the terror network has nuclear weapons, it is only a matter of time before those weapons will be used.
In addition to his false claims of WMDs, Netanyahu also tried, without any evidence, to link the Iraqi government to not just al-Qaeda, but also the Taliban, the extremist Islamist group in Afghanistan.
You're making a connection between the Taliban and Iraq?
Yes, I am. I'm saying that if you look at those who harbor terrorists and those who support terrorists,
I guess I was looking for a connection between September 11th and my understanding why we went to the Taliban is there was a connection there. They were harboring somebody that we believed did the act on September 11th.
Yes, that's the first reason why you did it.
Now you're going to take me from September 11th to Iraq somehow?
Yes, but I'm saying something else. I'm saying the connection is not whether Iraq was directly connected to September 11th, but how do you prevent the next September 11th?
In response to critics who pointed out the lack of evidence for these extraordinary allegations, Netanyahu maintained that foolproof evidence was not even necessary.
And do the various critics, especially overseas, believe that a clear connection between Saddam and September 11th must be established before we have a right to prevent the next September 11th? Well, I think not.
Whether it's 1990, 2002, or 2018, it's clear that Netanyahu is still repeating the same refrain. Investigations don't work, diplomacy is a dead end, and evidence is not necessary. The only path that can and should be pursued is more war. And Israel's longest-serving prime minister has more than demonstrated his willingness to tell a few lies to sell those wars to the public.
That's a fact. Yo, this dude is a fucking nut, bro. Yo, these people are crazy, bro. These dudes love blowing shit up, man. God damn. Like, it's so crazy because, like, the average person, like, just doesn't even know any of this stuff. But this is why, like, a lot of this shit, they're gonna, bro, this dude is not gonna make it very long, bro. It's only a matter of time. And I think Trump is the president to do it because the five dancing Israel's Ali, it was a super Jew who owned the towers, but building 7 that randomly fell, same Jew owner. Yeah, man, it's a lot of conspiracies. Like I heard people got, happened to not be at work. They got phone calls saying, leave the building and stuff like that. Like, and there's actual footage of people on the ground saying, no, a second plane didn't hit the tower. Like, there was explosions. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff surrounding that, man. That 9/11 shit. That's why I say, bro, these people are wicked, bro. Here too. Here too in America, bro. If you think that they won't, you know, sacrifice thousands of U.S. citizens, and especially non-U.S. citizens, you're bugging. These people don't give a fuck about us, bro. They truly don't care, bro. It's about power. Isn't a conspiracy to claim a pole hit it and caused it to fall. There was no plane that hit Building 7. Plus, also, I just seen a clip with it's funny that you bring that up. Matter of fact, let me bring it up. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Let's see if I can bring this up real 2.5. Because I actually seen something on that you're talking about. I seen this short clip with who is that? Harris Morgan from back in the day. This joint right here. Listen to this.
Jesse, what would you have done on September the 12th, 2001? What would you have done if you'd been president?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have done a
Hold on, let me put it on the big joint.
legitimate investigation to find out what exactly happened on 9/11. How did they know who did this so quickly like they did Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah.
How quick they knew
that was
Lee
a good
Harvey
claim.
Oswald killed Kennedy.
Because the people who did it were identified and we knew who they were.
Well, then why couldn't we have stopped them beforehand if they were identified and we knew who?
That's a good Lady Shinobi. That's a good claim too. You don't know what these people be having on a lot of these politicians and shit. You know, like I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. Because bro, it's no way. How do you have so much influence? It's crazy to me. Like when you really view this whole thing and you see what's been going on, and then you even go back and watch videos like that, that hearing that he had and was making all of these claims, and then they don't even really do no real investigations. They just tell you that they had weapons of mass destruction and we had to handle it, and that's just we're just supposed to believe it. Just like people like this guy right here, Jesse Ventura, talking about this.
It was a failure of intelligence. Everyone's accepted
No, it
that.
wasn't. We
And
knew
he
before with
investigated this.
Condoleezza Rice's memo on August 6th when it stated right in the memo, bin Laden to steal planes and run them into buildings. And more stuff is coming out now also, how much the Bush administration ignored the intelligence. It was almost like they ignored it because they wanted it to happen.
Oh, come off it, Jesse.
No, not come off it. Wait a minute. Every war fought starts with a false flag operation.
You can't, in all seriousness, sit there and try and make out anybody.
Okay, let me ask you this, Piers. Wait a minute.
This is a guy that has been studying, investigating this himself for a few years. He mentioned it in this clip.
Let me ask you something. How much studying have you actually done of 9/11 other than what the government's told you and what mainstream media has told you? I've been studying it 4 years.
I was editor of a national newspaper.
I've talked to
people.
Wait a minute.
In depth every day for 5-6 months.
Really?
So I know a lot about it.
Well,
one
then
thing
how
I do
come?
know is
Let me ask you this.
You cannot say that any member of the Bush administration knew it was going to happen or wanted it to happen. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about your BBC. I have a tape of a BBC reporter broadcasting directly back to England talking about a third building has collapsed. World Trade Center Building 7 talks for 7 minutes. All the while she's talking, World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing right behind her. It didn't fall for another half hour. Yet they were doing a pre-broadcast back to England that, yes, it's true,
you need to
that
take
this
a break
building
He said that he had the video.
fell and it hadn't fallen yet.
If you're trying to make out the British Broadcasting Company, one of the most respected news organisations in the world,
this one, Piers Morgan, was super green.
Was inventing huge buildings falling over. You need to have a break, Jesse. We'll come back after the break and we'll talk about Israel and Iran.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this dude wasn't having it. He was like, but it was So you mentioned Building 7, and he said that was crazy. He said that basically they was broadcasting, they was broadcasting this, and it didn't even happen yet, and they were saying that it did. And things like that have happened before. Didn't something like that happen recently, where what was it? Something like that happened recently. Damn. I can't think of it right now, but I don't know why. Something in my head is telling me something like that recently happened with something. But anyway, yeah, bro, this stuff, bro, these people are corrupt, bro. It's just plain and simple, man. You know, they're like, you know, they want to try out their new weapons and shit. You know, we just kill a few thousand people. It's, you know, standard procedure. These people are crazy, bro. Who, the guy Jesse Ventura, his book, Night of Jinn. I gotta look into that. I see you say you done some studying yourself. Shit, man. Send me some shit, man. I'm always trying to learn and figure out what the hell's going on, man. This stuff is interesting, bro. Very, 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 very interesting, bro. You start seeing shit, and yo, I've said it. You can't say I've said it multiple times on the podcast that, you know, you no longer can just bullshit people, bro. Like, it's too many people out here who are bright, smart, who can do their own journalism now. They don't need, you know, to depend on legacy media anymore. You know, you got social media, TikTok. This is why they called TikTok. This is why Bibi Netanyahu called TikTok like a new form of a weapon against Israel. But that could be against anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that, you know, they don't really want us having freedom of speech, bro. They want us to just deal with what they want us to deal with, believe what they want us to believe. But they fucked up. They gave us all, you know, a camera. We got a mic, you know what I mean? We got a broadcast, a little network going on YouTube. They done fucked up. Yay. It is what it is. Let's get into this video with LV Nation. Shout out to him, man. If you're not tapped in with him, make sure you tap in. Hit that subscribe button.
I might actually lose some subscribers for showing this video, but I think it's very important that I talk to you about this. So Candace Owens just...
Hold on, let me move my joint over. Shit getting wicked out here. Indeed, some wicked motherfuckers. Go on this side.
Just dropped a bombshell text chain that has been confirmed now by a lot of credible people about what Charlie Kirk was saying 48 hours before he passed. And also, before I show you that, I want to show you if you guys actually believe what Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman, is saying is behind Charlie Kirk's death, that they found that a foreign government was involved. And I'm going to play that video first, and I'm going to ask you guys, do you believe what she's saying, or do you believe...
You said with Charlie, was that what I was thinking that too? They were, yeah, with the book and L.A. Times and New York Times reported that Charlie Kirk was shot before it happened, like the day before it happened. Like 19 hours before it actually happened. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for that.
What Candace Owens is saying, because Candace Owens, she's not even insinuating anything. She's just showing what Charlie Kirk's last messages was and the conversations that he was actually trying to have, because there's so many people trying to hijack who Charlie Kirk was and what he was fighting in his last days. And sure, I may get people to unfollow me, but I don't really care. I'm just here because of the people that are willing to hear these videos out and willing to actually search for the truth with me.
Facts,
I've been trying to stay away from these conversations. I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but since when do we not look?
Man, fuck that, man. Get conspiratorial. Conspiracies are real, dog. People be, you know, they be trying to make people sound crazy and look crazy because they control the narrative. But my thing is, bro, you could receipts can be dropped, bro. People can get information, and you like with Candace Owens, they trying to make her look crazy, like she wasn't really friends with Charlie Kirk, when we obviously have seen videos with them both in it. Like, so they obviously at minimum know each other, spent time with each other. They have did events together. So to say that they just aren't friends whatsoever is kind of being naive, to be honest. You know, Candace Owens. I mean, the thing I could respect about people who, put out information is if you're right, you're right. But if you're wrong, I feel as though Candace Owens, and I've seen her admit like she was wrong about something or whatever the case may be. I think that's good journalism. Like if you're wrong, say you're wrong, and she's that type.
Look into things.
Let's
Since when do we say, you know what? Enough is enough. Like this guy didn't just lose his life in front of everybody, and all of a sudden we just stop questioning.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna play Anna Paulina video first. She is saying that there is a foreign government. She is insinuating that China is behind this. Do you guys believe her when she says this? Who's more credible here? Take a listen.
There's been a lot of questions as to whether there was foreign government involvement.
In which one?
In the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right?
Okay.
So, like, we're going to address these theories right now. Back during the ICE riots, do you remember all of that at the beginning of the year?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were like, where are all of a sudden these big violent riots coming from? Who's funding these organizations? We found out that there was a foreign funding tied to an individual by the name of Neville Singham, who's a multi-billionaire. And he made his billions by working with the communist Chinese government. And he would and he's not a registered agent, a foreign agent, which is a FARA violation. So he's taking these millions, funneling it into organizations like the Party of Socialism and Liberation, who then in turn create these very radicalized movements, but they're not even American in theory or funded by American people. They're actually funded by foreign governments. The irony in all this is that Neville Singham, not just to Mandani's election, so like Jews from Mandani, but he actually also has ties to funding the Party of Socialism, the Salt Lake City queer group, which is now being investigated with former knowledge on whether or not they knew Charlie would be assassinated, who had ties to the shooter. So I do think that there's a foreign funding tie, but the question is which government, and I think it's tied to the Chinese.
Interesting.
Listen, bro. So first of all, key word that she said, keyword, I think. Meaning, that's just her opinion. It's not a fact, bro. It's not a fact. So you got to take that with a grain of salt, bro. I think it was them. He said we need to protect Japan, South Korea at all costs so China doesn't get too ahead in the tech field. We didn't lose the Korean War. We made North Korea an example while South Korea matches China. Okay. Okay, man, we got to get in touch, C-Wack.
There is a foreign government involved here, but it is tied to the Chinese. She also puts out her case as to what she thinks is behind, the guy who she thinks is behind the ties to China. And so I thought that was very interesting, but this has caused the internet to melt down to say, who is she running cover for? Why is she all of a sudden blaming China for this? I want to read this. They're now blaming Chinese to attempt to cover for Israel. Many people are saying that Israel has something to do with this, that all of a sudden you got people panicking in our government coming out and saying that there was a foreign government involved, but it was China. And so she made her case. And maybe you guys believe that. Right now, I'm looking at every option on the table. I feel like this is an important conversation. There are very important people making different cases about this. And now we have a government employee, like we have a congresswoman, sitting congresswoman, saying that there was a foreign government.
Yeah, but we know that they're also in some ways controlled by Israel. Everybody has an AIPAC guy. So like it's not surprising, bro, to hear, you seen Speaker Johnson saying, obviously it's been a year since October 7th and he was talking about that whole situation, but bro, at the end of the day, we have that alliance, so of course they're going to do everything to protect Israel. For whatever reason it is, at all costs, we have to protect Israel. We need to protect New York, Chicago, L.A., not those countries. Yeah, facts. America first. Facts. Both of y'all right. Yeah, like we so worried about what the fuck they doing in the Middle East and all of that. And the crazy part is, I believe that honestly, bro, we can have America, especially with Donald Trump making the deals, we can have great relationships with a lot of these countries, even the ones we're not allies with, to be honest with you. Because let's be honest, bro, everything is pretty much about power, money. But you know, motherfuckers got their own countries. They got their own shit, their own people, you know. So it's not about taking over America or any of that, but it's about controlling trade and all of these different components. And I just think that Donald Trump was on the right track with, you know, fair trade, bringing people to the table, putting tariffs on other countries. If you want to sell goods in my store, if you want to put your goods in my store, you have to pay a percentage. This is what I was explaining to my neighbor the other day. We was talking about tariffs. He was telling me about the tariffs and whatever. And I'm like, well, look, you wouldn't let nobody, if you had a boutique and you had, you wanted to put clothes in your boutique, jewelry in your boutique, but you didn't necessarily, you had the building space, but you didn't have the merchandise. You would reach out to jewelers. You would reach out to clothing brands and say, hey, I like your clothing brand. You want to put it in my boutique. Well, I charge you, 15%. Or whatever the case may be, you're going to get a percentage of that. Why are we expecting countries to sell goods in our country and we not get paid off of it? That's just dumb. Like, that's just stupid. I don't understand. Now, if it's reciprocated, like we're able to sell goods in your country, you're able to sell goods, and it's evenly matched, then there's nothing wrong with not having no tariffs. Outside of that, if we not able to put goods in your country and you want to sell goods, you're gonna have to come up off that motherfucking Bosky, that mozzarella. Fuck you talking about?
Involved here. So now we look at what Candace Owens presents to Americans, right? Now that you heard Anna Paulina Luna, do you guys believe that? Please comment down below. So now we go to Candace Owens. And Candace Owens lays out a timetable because for a very long time, she has been talking about that Charlie Kirk was being pressured to be as pro.
Yeah, that's why I understand what you're saying, see, that's why it's good to have allies who, where we can benefit in them ways where, like them trying to get, Taiwan to basically give up a percentage of the whole chips thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, it's good to have, certain countries who make certain things that we don't necessarily make here, or whatever the case may be. But it still got to be some, like, even trade in there. It's got to be value in it. Just simply doing shit like giving billions of dollars to Israel and letting Israel in return keep putting us in wars with the Middle East. How does that? That's not America first. That's not benefiting us whatsoever.
Israel as he possibly could. But Charlie Kirk began to lose money when he started to host people like Tucker Carlson, who again started to question Israel's influence in the United States of America. Started to question why are we about to go to war with Iran, which again was just announced that could be very well happening soon. Netanyahu announced that he believes that Iran once again now has even more ballistic missiles that can again reach the United States of America. So he is still pushing for that war,
bro.
But a lot of people have said that Candace Owens was lying about the fact that Charlie Kirk was trying to separate himself because the big funders for his Turning Point USA organization were Jewish people who did not like that people were opposing Israel. So here are the text messages. This is the bombshell. Take a listen.
Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor. $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh.
You gotta hit my email, C-Wag, so
Charlie
we can talk
writes,
about
Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat. Okay. So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, N.G.L.A faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and N.G.L.A? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell over the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that? Also a rabbi in that chat. Like, why hasn't anybody made that move to at least say, to vindicate what I have been saying about what he was going through? That registers to me as very suspicious. I'm going to frankly say that it's suspicious to me. It makes me think that in the same way.
Facts. Small
This
government
video
best.
keeps freezing up on me. It's like I can't even finish this video, bruh. But anyways, I will say this. I'm not saying Israel did it, but I am saying that the way that people are reacting to these types of news, and now we got the full truth that Charlie Kirk was saying that he wanted to leave and leave the Israel cause because it was causing him to be bullied by funders and donors because he couldn't invite the people that he would love to have conversations that also oppose Israel while also defending Israel. Remember, during Turning Point USA, he had everybody hit the stage. He had debates. He also wanted to invite Marjorie Taylor Greene. So you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got Matt Gaetz, you got Candace Owens, you got N.G.L.A, and now you have Tucker Carlson. Some of the biggest voices, 5 biggest voices that have been telling you about the fact that he was facing a lot of pressure. But the fact that they brought that up now has caused another side, the pro-Israel side, to come out and say, well, that's not true. Candace is lying. Candace is crazy. How many times have we heard the opposing view that, oh, you're getting Qatar money? You're getting Qatar. Meanwhile, Qatar just helped Trump literally, get a deal to have some type of peace with Israel. So this Qatar stuff.
Bro, they literally, from what I heard, they're paying pro-Israel influencers $7,500 a post. Some crazy shit. They got me about ready to be pro-Israel. $7,500. I need that. It's like, nah. But that's crazy. So they talking about, people are lying. But bro, when you see stuff like this, Candace Owens, has been saying these things, making these, speculations, and giving her opinion on certain things. And then she comes out with a text showing you. And mind you, it's a real, it's been verified. Plus, Tucker Carlson referenced this same shit on his show. So that's how you know it was real. When he said that Charlie Kirk basically, was having problems with the whole Israel thing.
This Israel stuff, it's literally, that's why I don't talk about it no more.
I ain't going to say Israel killed them, but
people are,
it's definitely some shade.
Things, there is.
My thing is, I'm not going to say, who did what, but it definitely, like you just said, it was definitely a professional job. It definitely has some cover-up type of, shit surrounding it, Like what happened to JFK, and immediately, oh, this guy did it, and then mysteriously he gets fucking shot. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like you can't lie though. The investigation and the information that they have put out thus far has been kind of sloppy, bro. I'm just saying.
Reports, official reports, that people are getting paid $7,000 to be pro-Israel. We literally had Netanyahu sit up there in front of the world talking about how he wanted to get a coalition of influencers to help better restore Israel's, the state of Israel's, the narrative or the media or the legacy, the narrative, everything, right? The narrative. So it is true. You could call Candace Owens crazy, wild, but why are these texts important? Because of how people have been reacting to the fact that anytime you bring up Israel, they freak out, they attack you, and they try to take everything away from you. That's what I don't like. That's one of the main reasons I'm not pro-Israel today. That's why people like Matt Gaetz are very important to me. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene are very important to me. People that see right through this BS and say, wait a minute, what's going on? So I'm not here to insinuate that Israel did anything, but what I'm here to say is, why is it a problem that Candace Owens is talking about this? Why would it be a problem to you? All of a sudden, the people that believe...
Because she opening up people's eyes. She opening up people's eyes to things that they might have not, peeped. She's getting, mind you, she got her own little squad and people that be, sending her information, videos, all types of shit. So, and Candace Owens is a journalist, bro. She really be reaching out to people that's involved, and all of that. Like she does what journalists do, what you're supposed to do at least.
That 9/11 was an inside job, or also the people that believe all of a sudden that anything could happen and we just got to believe what they tell us all the time. Like, come on. Come on now. Straighten up, smarten up, and structure up. Just take a look at what they're presenting to you and you make your own decision. Stop letting other people and influencers make your decisions for you. You can be pro-Israel while also saying that, hey, this pro-Israel stuff is very censoring. People are losing their jobs and their livelihoods behind the fact that they don't like the government of Israel. What's going on over there? And a clip that I found here as well was, Tucker Carlson, they called him a liar and they called him crazy for saying this. He said this, and this is exactly what comes out on these text messages. They called him crazy for this. All of a sudden, everybody who once loved Tucker Carlson, it's now turned against him. Because of the fact that he is noticing a pattern of behavior that he does not like, and he is presenting to you, and now all of a sudden these guys are crazy. The same people that we once loved are all crazy, and you got to unsubscribe from them, and you have to just stop looking at them and supporting them. All of a sudden, people hate Matt Gaetz. All of a sudden, people hate Marjorie Taylor Greene. All of a sudden, people hate Candace Owens. All of a sudden, people hate Tucker Carlson. Like, are you kidding me? So let's take a listen.
Shortly after that speech, there was a very intense attack on Charlie, and to some extent on me, not that I really noticed, but on him, I have no donors. He had $100 million worth of donors. And so because he was involved in a different project from just yapping on the internet, which is what I do for a living, he was dependent to a great extent on his donors, of course. It's a nonprofit. And they went after him and tormented him. Not all, of course, many were supportive, but the ones who were offended by my speech, and there was a small, very intense group who were, tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died. 2 days before he died, he lost a $2 million donation because he had publicly pledged to bring me to the next Turning Point conference in December. And he told me over the past couple of months he was losing a lot of donations over that pledge. They put out a flyer basically saying that I was going to be at this event giving a speech. And so he would text me and say, man, I'm really taking a lot of heat for this, and people are really mad.
Yeah, so.
Yo, shout out to LV Nation, man. We had to wrap it up. But yeah, bro, like, yo. Tucker Carlson said that before Candace even came out with this text thread. So he wasn't lying. So he really talked to Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk was telling him that basically he lost a donor or whatever, but he's been having issues surrounding having certain people on these Turning Point USA events. So, I don't know, bro. I don't know. All I know is this, is that Israel has been coming up in a lot of shit surrounding dumb shit, you know, death, surrounding death. Let's just keep it real, bro. You know what I mean? Tucker Carlson let the Muslims buy him out. Look at Europe. They basically took it. Yeah, man, I don't know, bro. A lot of this stuff is crazy, bro. It's crazy. I don't know, man. It's interesting, though. I'll tell you that much. And we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to keep talking about it. I want, you know, dive more deep into this stuff, bro. For real, because it's deep, you know? And fuck it, we're going to talk about it, man. This is what's hot right now in the streets. You know? Talking about politics, what the fuck is going on out here? It's a lot of craziness going on, though, bro. Like, come on, bro. God damn. It's like one thing after another, bro. Anyway, man, that's the show for today, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me for the whole show. God damn. This might have been the first. You know, a decent amount of y'all in here, bro. I really appreciate it, for real. It's dope as hell, man. Trying to build this thing up, man. So definitely, man, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help your boy on his road to monetization. I'm trying to get monetized by January. That's the goal. That's the goal I set, and I'm going to fulfill it, dog. So, you know, I appreciate everybody for tapping in with me. Once again, it's your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. I'll let y'all. I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.